Hey, it's Cindy, and today we're talking about 5 tips that you can use to reduce stress instantly. In this video, you will learn actionable tips that you can put into place straight away and start to get results. For more videos with tips like this, then do please subscribe, hit the button down below, and make sure you hit the notification bell. And without further ado, let's get into the video. So, tip number 1 for reducing your stress is really simple. It's to get active. And I've got 2 different ways of thinking about that. One is to get outside and do some exercise. And I say to get outside because then you're combining in another sort of tip about getting out into nature. If you can get in nature as well as get active at the same time, that's a 2 for 1. Brilliant. So getting active, exercising, or if you can't get outside, if you've got a cross trainer or going to a gym, whatever it is for you to do, or you can find workouts on YouTube. There's plenty of stuff on there like yoga, Pilates, there's high intensity interval training workouts on YouTube. There's so much out there for you. I'm not a personal trainer, obviously, so start small, consult your doctor if you're not sure if you should or not. But getting active, some gentle walking, if that's all you can do, is going to help with stress, and it will instantly relieve stress, but also have a cumulative effect. The other way I think about being active about your stress is to do something to release all the sort of pent-up energy. So when we're stressed, it's because we've got all this response to what's going on, but we're not actually doing our running away or fighting or whatever it is that we need to do in the old days when we lived in caves. And when we used to react to stress, we would run away or fight. We would release all of that pent-up energy, and also the cortisol would all get worked through and the adrenaline, and then we would come down and we would be all fine. But because we're holding on to the stress, then we're keeping all that stuff inside us. So a really good way of getting rid of that is to grab a cushion and have a good old punching session on the cushion to get all your stress out. But punching is a really good way of getting all that stuff out of your system and making yourself feel better. So that's tip number 1, get active, whichever way that works for you, try both ways, and combine it with getting into nature if you can. Tip number 2 is to take control, because quite often when we're stressed, it's because we feel we're out of control. There's so much happening that's out of our control. There's nothing we can do about it. So sit down and work out, write a list of everything that's bothering you, that's stressing you out, and work out which bits of those are in your control. What can you do something about? And then do something about them. It could be managing your time better or managing yourself better within time. And I think I've got some videos about that in previous weeks. And it could be about saying no more. That can be a really, really difficult thing, especially for mums, to say no. But really, if you want to manage your stress, if you want to be reducing your stress and feeling better, you have to learn to say no. So taking control, make a list, write it all down. What can you control? Do something about it. Manage yourself, manage your diary, get routines in place that help you to stay in control as much as you can of the things that you can control. Say no more, and as part of this taking control thing, recognise what you can't control. Accept there's some things you can't control, and they're going to play out how they play out, and you can only control the bits that you can control. And taking that control back will help to reduce your stress instantly, because you can see exactly what you can do and what you can't do. So that's tip number 2. Tip number 3 is to connect. Connect with other people. And that could be as simple as just ringing a friend.
Can I phone a friend?
You can phone a friend.
It could be going networking regularly if you're working at home alone a lot, like I do. So it's great for me to get out and go to networking. I go to something called Laptop Friday when I can, which is a brilliant chance to just chat with other like-minded people who've got businesses. And we're not talking about business, we're just being people. And that connection is really, really important. And that will really, really help to reduce your stress. But for an instant fix, ring a friend, ring someone that you love to have a chat with, connect, see how you can help them, just have a chat and connect with someone. Okay, so that's it, connecting. And the thing about connecting is that we're social beings. We're meant to be around other humans. Back in the caveman days, we wouldn't have survived on our own. We had to stay with the group, and we rely on that social connection for our well-being. And a lot of the times now we're not getting that interaction. We're not getting the daily connection that we need. So make that a priority, connecting with other people. Okay, so tip number 4 is to challenge yourself. And we've talked about this before in the How to Change Your State video. Challenging yourself is a really good way of reducing your stress, because it's taking your focus off whatever's stressing you, but also by learning something new, you're using new parts of your brain. It's all a really good way of changing how you feel for the better. You could challenge yourself to learn a new skill, a new sport. You could challenge yourself to learn how to use a yo-yo or anything. You could challenge yourself to draw for the first time since school.
Maybe there's a happy tree.
So it's all about that process of taking yourself into flow almost. And so when you're in flow, you're not thinking about all that other stuff. It's almost like a meditation. And having a challenge and then achieving it is going to really, really boost you up as well. And all of that's going to help reduce your stress. So start thinking about what might you be able to challenge yourself to do. Really, really simple tip, but very, very effective. And as you know, I love to share very simple tips that you can use right away, but never ever be deceived by their simplicity, because they always have power behind them. Tip number 5 is to help others. So if you get out and help other people, studies have shown that this makes you a happier person, and it also reduces stress. Helping others could be as simple, again, as just ringing someone that you know would like to hear from you, that perhaps doesn't have as much connection as you do with other people. It could be helping a friend move house. Or helping them in the garden, or with a problem they've got with their business. It could be it could be volunteering. You could volunteer a little bit of time. I know that there are some places you can volunteer and you can do it on a very ad hoc basis, and I know there are some where you need to commit every week. You do what works for you, but there has been a lot of research into volunteering, and people who volunteer to help other people are a lot happier, regardless of their home circumstances and how much money they've got or any of that stuff. That's not the important stuff. It's that being able to give something back really helps us to feel good in ourselves. So that is our 5 tips. We got through them. First one, get active, get out in nature, do some exercise or punch a cushion or whatever releases that stress feeling from your body, because remember, always our mind and body are one system. So if you can help your body release the stress, you will help your mind release the stress. Second one, take control. Make some lists, see what you can do something about, and again, notice what you can't do anything about and let it go. If you can't control it, if you can't change it, you've got to stop worrying about it. Number 3 was to connect, give someone a ring, go to networking, keep yourself connected with other people. Do not let yourself get isolated, because that will make your stress worse. Challenge yourself to learn something new or to do something different that you've never done before, maybe abseiling down a building even, who knows. Look out there for what challenges you could do. Just try Googling easy challenges or whatever. Google has everything you could ever want to know, as you, I'm sure, are aware. And then the last one was to help others. Do something that helps others, if it's volunteering or just helping a friend or connecting with someone that will help them, and you're doing it for them, and that will help you to reduce your stress. So those are our 5 tips. Let's move on to part 2, which is where I want to challenge you. As always, it's all about getting you to take action. And so my challenge to you, if you're stressed, if you've been feeling stressed out and you want to feel better, in the next 5 days, do one of those challenges each day. Every single day, do one of those challenges. Just pick one, or just do them in the order I talked about them, and see how you feel at the end of it. And if there's one that you particularly like more than others, do more of that. rinse and repeat. In my last video, I talked about the truth about stress. If you haven't seen it, I do recommend you go and watch it. And spoiler alert, the truth about stress is research has shown that it's not the stress that damages our bodies and makes us get ill. It is our belief about stress. And if we believe that stress will make us ill, then stress will make us ill. If we believe that stress does not have an effect on our physical body, or not a negative effect, in fact, then we will not have the same physical effect on our body. So go watch that video to get all the gen on that, because it's really interesting and it's useful to know, because even if you're not putting these tips into place, if you recognise that stress is not actually harming you and has a positive byproduct, then you might find that really useful. Comment below if you're going to take the challenge. I'd love to know. Comment yes in the comments. Let me know that you're going to take part. So there you have 5 tips for dealing with stress so that you can reduce your stress instantly. If you want to find out the truth about stress, make sure you watch this video next. And if you haven't already, please subscribe so that you can pick up more tips from me. So it just remains for me to say thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.